Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer introduces the High Evolutionary Herbert Wyndham, Marvel's ultimate geneticist and a villain deeply intertwined with Rocket's long, mysterious origin story. But the visuals and production design revealed in this trailer are so bizarre and trippy. The High Evolutionary is now looking less like an employee at 23andMe who took his work home with him, and more like a madman who constructs entire worlds and pocket realities to actualize his eugenic cruelty. Meaning this guy is on a power scale much higher than we thought, and will play a much bigger role to MCU world building going forward than we realized. So let's break down everything we know about the High Evolutionary, his role in Guardians Volume 3, his connection to Adam Warlock and Rocket's origin, his importance to the Marvel Comics, and his ultimate plan to bring about the next big era in the MCU. The High Evolutionary, Herbert Wyndham, is Marvel's top geneticist and associate of X-Men villain Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister. Wyndham first appeared in the Mighty Thor issue 134 in 1966 as the leader of the animal-human hybrids called the New Men, his Knights of Wundagore. The next issue, 135, explored his backstory as a genetics researcher trying to experiment with evolution, play God, all that good stuff. And he said he discovered a trove of uranium that made him super rich, allowing him to realize his vision, and he established a base on Mount Wundagore. Now since then, High Evolutionary has been linked with several Marvel figures. It was his serum that created Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, one of his new men was Bova, who nursed Pietro and Wanda Maximoff as babies on Mount Wundagore, and he's the one who gave Adam the name Warlock, after Adam left his creators in the Enclave. He's also known for creating an alternate, purer Earth called Counter Earth, in a microsecond out-of-dimensional sink to hide it from the main Earth. So a combination of these things appears to be playing out in Guardians Volume 3. It looks like the High Evolutionary will be tied to Adam Warlock, perhaps leading those white-clad researchers whom I believe to be the Enclave. And it looks like Wyndham created this whole race of new men, these animalistic humanoids who live in a 1980s version of Counter Earth, which in the MCU may just be called Half-World since the 2014 film listed that as Rocket and Lila's origin world. And yes, I think Rocket and Lila are among these hybrid creations of Herbert Wyndham. James Gunn said that Volume 3 is going to be closing out the story that he has been telling since the beginning, and in that 2014 film, the camera lingered on Rocket's cybernetic implant scars, and later Rocket raged at Peter and Drax about his past.
Well, I didn't ask to get made! I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together over and over and turned into some little monster!
This backstory was further explored in Volume 2 as an intense moment between Rocket and Yondu.
You can fool yourself and everyone else, but you can't fool me. I know who you are.
You don't know anything about me, loser.
I know everything about you. I know you play like you're the meanest and the hardest, but actually you're the most scared of all.
Shut up!
I know them scientists what made you never gave a rat's ass about you.
I'm serious!
Them scientists what made you. It's nonsense grammar there, but Michael Rooker just has a way of making any mushmouth and make perfect sense. So I think the scientists that Yondu referred to there were Herbert Wyndham and his cult of genetic researchers that we only see glimpses of in this trailer, and it would not surprise me if they are revealed in this movie to be the Enclave, the same group who created Adam Warlock, the ones who supplied Aisha with his cocoon in the Guardians Volume 2 post-credit scene. It is officially the holiday season. That means stressing out about what presents to buy, stressing out about booking travel, stressing out about pumpkin spice sneaking into foods where it doesn't belong. Oh God, all the stress is enough to make your hair fall out, unless you got Keeps. Keeps offers clinically proven research-backed treatments to stop hair loss and improve hair growth. 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss by the time they're 35, but with Keeps, you can get quality expert care without ever visiting a doctor's office or a pharmacy. All Keeps treatment plans are recommended by a licensed medical provider and delivered straight to your door at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. Each treatment plan comes with a full year of unlimited messaging so that you can connect with your medical provider about anything, anytime. Keeps has a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists to support you in making your hair goals a reality. Whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of the hair that you have, Keeps has you covered. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/newrockstars or click the link in the description. That's KEEPS.com/newrockstars. Now at San Diego Comic-Con last summer, Chukwudi Iwuji gave a monologue in character as a High Evolutionary that sounded like a declaration of the villain's core philosophy and his mission.
As I gaze out at this crowd, I'm reminded of my sole purpose in the universe: to take unevolved, disgusting, low-life scum such as yourselves and enhance you genetically to something less reprehensible. Thank you for inspiring me with how vomitous you all are. The bile in the back of my throat as I look at you is all the motivation I need to move forward and create the perfect species. I can't wait to dissect all of you
and see what I can learn.
Create the perfect species and dissect all of you and see what I can learn. Yeah, it sounds like Herbert Wyndham was behind both the creation of Adam Warlock, the perfect species, and the dissection of life forms like Rocket. His experiments on Rocket and Lila and the other new men of Counter-Earth or Half-World, whatever it's called, were the early steps of a process that would eventually arrive at a genetically perfect specimen of Adam. So how does this connect to Peter Quill and Mantis in Volume 3? Well, the holiday special confirmed that Mantis is also a child of Ego. Ego is a Celestial, making her Peter Quill's half-sister, and both of them descendants of Celestial DNA. Gunn has indicated that that's going to be an important plot point in Volume 3. Peter's Celestial ancestry was something of a fascination to Aisha, a sovereign obsessed with genetic purity.
What is your heritage, Mr. Quill?
My mother is from Earth.
And your father?
He ain't from Missouri. That's all I know.
I see it within you. An unorthodox genealogy. A hybrid that seems particularly reckless.
They told me you people were conceited douchebags. But that isn't true at all. Oh, shit. I'm using my wrong eye again, aren't I?
And now when we look back at this, it's clear that Rocket was especially insulted by Aisha's genetic superiority because it reminded him of his tormentor and Wyndham's obsession to create the perfect species using Rocket like a lab rat. Now, I am speculating here, but that fleshy spiral structure we see in the trailer, if it is indeed hijacked spinal tissue of a Celestial like the corpse tissue of Nowhere, the High Evolutionary's ultimate plot may be to use Celestial light to commit a form of mass genocide on any creature that doesn't have a hereditary connection to the Celestials. Quill and Mantis would be spared, along with Adam Warlock, other Eternals and Titans and gods and other evolved life forms like maybe Herbert Wyndham himself, but all the rest of us lower life forms? Nope, sorry. My mind just goes to this place because, you know, ethnic genocide seems to be the final solution of any villain too obsessed with genetics. But beyond this film, there are also two major implications for what Herbert Wyndham brings to the MCU. First, his association with Mount Woundagore and the Maximoffs. Mount Woundagore was just introduced as an MCU location in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's where Wanda's Darkhold Temple was located, and in the comics, this mountain is also where Herbert Wyndham lives, and in his castle, one of his new men, Bova, nurses infants Wanda and Pietro. Bova was teased as an Easter egg in the animated intro of WandaVision Episode 2, and that run of the comics featured Wyndham claiming he was the one who advanced Wanda and Pietro, and then later passed them off as common mutants. So that, plus Wyndham's association with X-Men villain Mr. Sinister, suggests to me that Wyndham is the obvious character to finally give the MCU an explanation of the mutant gene, the genetic predisposition shared by people like Namor, Kamala Khan, and others with nebulous power sets and currently more questions than answers as to why exposure to things like cosmic radiation affected them differently than it affects most other people. If you think about it, the villain Kang is the Marvel mastermind who unlocked the secrets of timelines in the multiverse. The High Evolutionary is a mastermind who unlocked the secrets of celestial genealogy and mutations. Violations to the sacred timeline gave us the multiverse. Violations to the Celestials plan gives us mutants. James Gunn, with the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy, contributed to the MCU the universe-building plot points of Thanos and the history of the Infinity Stones. Those did not really exist in the MCU until James Gunn got here, and they later proved to be essential to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. We always think Marvel directors are going to establish these big plot points in the MCU, but when the credits roll, we realize, oh, they're just trying to tell the story that they wanted to tell, and weren't really interested in establishing big rules for this universe. But the exception to that has been James Gunn. That's why Warner Brothers picked him to build their DC universe. So with Guardians Volume 3 being James Gunn's final Marvel Cinematic Universe film, what better way to say goodbye to the MCU than leave it with a parting gift of finally some clarity of how exactly mutants exist in this universe. You can follow me on TikTok, Hive, Instagram, and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.